This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
We are just hours away from an historic moment. If the United Auto Workers and the Big Three manufacturers don't agree to a new contract tonight, for the first time ever, union members will stage a simultaneous strike against all three. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here at 4. I'm Kay Quinn. Brent Solomon has the day off. In Wentzville, the General Motors plant employs thousands, and tomorrow they could be walking the picket line. 5 on your side's Justina Coronel joins us live from the Union Hall in St. Charles County. She's at the offices of Local 2250. Justina, what can you tell us?
Yeah, okay, so if there isn't a deal, we could see disruption tomorrow, and the Union Hall would be a spot where many people will be meeting. Now, nearly 4,000 union members work at the General Motors assembly plant in Wentzville. Local 2250 said these employees make $16 to $32 an hour, and the ones in the lower tier are pushing for more. GM did tell me earlier today that they put in another offer this morning, but no deal has been made just yet. If there is a strike, duties are already assigned. We're told third shift would be shutting equipment down while others set up pickets at plant gates and assembling kitchen duty to help process food for members and families. The mayor of Wentzville tells me he worries about the impact if this does happen.
This is our #1 employer. They employ 4,100 people, if not more. And there are sub-suppliers that will affect. So it's a kind of a domino effect.
So, Justina, exactly when does the contract expire?
So that will be 11:59 Eastern time, so that means 10:59 our time. Now, we could expect a strike tomorrow, and if so, that's when the duties will begin. Okay, back to you.
All right, thank you, Justina. We'll make sure to keep you updated once we hear the very latest on this pending agreement or strike. President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, has been indicted on federal gun charges. This after a plea deal for tax and gun charges fell through in July. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Today, the son of the President of the United States indicted on 3 federal gun-related charges. Hunter Biden is accused of lying on a form while buying a revolver back in 2018 by falsely claiming he was not using illegal drugs, also facing charges of possessing a firearm while using a narcotic. The indictment comes after a plea deal fell apart that would have had the president's son plead guilty to the gun charges, along with separate misdemeanor counts of failing to properly pay his taxes in 2017 and 18.
This is what happens when plea deals blow up. The prosecutor says, okay, you want your plea back, you want to go to trial, then we're going to indict you.
The deal collapsed when, under a judge's questioning, prosecutors said it would not protect Hunter Biden from any further charges potentially related to foreign business dealings. That's an area House Republicans have been investigating for months, now launching an impeachment inquiry seeking bank records and other documents from Hunter and Joe Biden as they try to tie the president to his son's business affairs. So far, they have not produced evidence making that connection.
Yeah, any comment on the Hunter Biden investigation, sir?
The case is being overseen by Special Counsel David Weiss, a Trump appointee who the Biden administration kept in place to continue leading the investigation into the president's son. The indictment comes as President Biden is fighting for a second term, allies working to insulate him from the younger Biden's legal battles as the president stands by his son, who he says is working to rebuild his life. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We now know the name of a teenager who died in a shooting in St. Louis last night. Police say Antonio Thompson was just 16. He was killed on Minerva in the Hamilton Heights neighborhood. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. The number is 866-371-TIPS. You can remain anonymous. Places for People held a suicide prevention march in Soulard today. It started around 10:30 this morning on Lynch Street and then circled the block onto 10th. Members of the community, Places for People staff, and those who they help participated. The march is meant to send a message to those who suffer from suicidal thoughts. The message, you're not alone. That march ended around 11 a.m. Well, the past few mornings have teetered on sweater weather, but is it too soon to start thinking about winter? The sighting of a fuzzy creature might have you dreaming of a white Christmas instead of figuring out which Halloween candy to put out. Some call them woolly worms, but they're actually not a worm at all. The larvae of Isabella tiger moths are black and brown and fuzzy all over. The cute little bug can be found all over Missouri and Illinois this time of year. As a story from the 1940s goes, the wider the rusty brown section of the worm, the more mild the coming winter will be. The more black there is, the more severe the winter will be. We went to the butterfly house to learn, is there any science behind the lore?
There's not too much science to this. Unfortunately, the caterpillars tend to get more brown the older they get. And so if you take a caterpillar that has a little bit of brown and you wait a few weeks and it molts again as it gets bigger, it might have even more brown than it did before.
Since we're on the subject of using old wives' tales to predict the weather, I'm going to go out on a limb, share a photo of my own. A white woolly worm. Scott, I found this on the screen door over the weekend, and a quick Google search claims it means we're going to have a snowy winter. Now, I'm not a big fan of snow, so I will not be disappointed if this prediction turns out to be false.
Well, and I honestly don't think you have to worry too much about it, Kay. Here's the thing. A lot of caterpillars right now get classified as woolly worms, even though they really
They're not
aren't.
even woolly worms.
They're different.
Right.
They're different species. But even so, those white ones in particular tend to have some sort of little complement to them that can give you a bit of a rash.
Oh,
so you don't
well,
want to pick
I
them up.
didn't touch it. No,
Yeah,
I just left it where it was. But
Yeah.
I did wonder about what that means for the forecast.
And I'll tell you, there's not a lot of science behind that. So, and
It's
in
fun,
an
though.
and
Fun
in
to
an El
talk about.
Nino year, it's probably going to be hard for us to get a lot of snow this year too. It looks like we're going to have an above average temperature-wise winter across the region. But in the meantime, we know that we're enjoying some delightful weather right now. We expect this to continue at least into the weekend with just a small chance for rain. Boy, look at the traffic. Boy, your rush hour is just slowing you down as you work your way west on 4064 into the Chesterfield Valley at this hour. How about Paul's sunrise from this morning in Washington, Missouri? We always love to see our Facebook friends on our Weather Watchers page send us beautiful pictures. There are so many of them. We're in the upper 70s, lower 80s right now, humidity nice and comfortable. Nothing really to stand in the way of you getting outside and enjoying this fine evening, as temperatures will drop out of the low 80s back through the 70s and quickly into the 60s for most of us as we head towards 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight. More on our rain chances for this weekend, why it's such a small opportunity for showers, and what we can expect heading into next week. That's in just a few minutes, Kay.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Scott. You can stay up to date with the Weather First forecast anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. Search and rescue crews from around the world converge on a town in Libya. Thousands are dead in flooding, and some say it all could have been avoided. Former President Trump releases a new campaign video, the government agency he wants to eliminate should he become president again.